Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
A far-off memories like a distant dream. I'm Slidewhistle.
'Tis I, Immunization, the vampire, approaching the end of the spooky season.
It's me, Aaron, fire mage extraordinaire and horde punching guy, I guess that's what I was going to say. You know, just because I was just so excited to ask you guys, what are you afraid of? Being alone, growing old, or growing apart?
I always pick growing old. Fuck everybody else.
You got to pick growing old because that sets it to easy mode. So Cubby Bub recently started playing Kingdom Hearts a little bit before Persona 5 hit her like a bus, and she picked all the easy mode answers because honestly that's what she was thinking. But I got a little mad. I was like, you're over here on easy mode. When I was a kid, I accidentally picked all the hard mode answers.
Honestly, this is my first time realizing that is what determined the difficulty mode.
It took me about maybe like 3 or 4 playthroughs after my first time to figure that out too.
Motherfucking the Brady strategy guide was just like, make sure you're careful with your answers. And 8-year-old me was like, what does that mean?
I'm so fucking jazzed that they added Sora to Smash Bros. We missed it last week completely. But fuck, people are being like, oh, this is so boring. And it's like, okay, it is kind of boring. But also, he's like the #1 voted like character that everybody wants in the game in the first place, homie.
Yeah, he's the one that people made petitions and polls for a decade now for addition to Smash Bros. And they finally did it. And everyone thought the reason that they weren't going to is just because of Big Disney, that big mouse, you know?
Which is fair. They have added him, but Masahiro Sakurai himself is like, he is here with all of his friends, the original anime characters. And everyone's like, what about Don? It's like, Donoso, his anime friend, he's here.
Mickey Mouse is holding everybody hostage in Kingdom Hearts, which that's a place, by the way, not just the name of a game. He's holding them all there behind that door. And he's like, you can't go if I can't go. And it's like, oh, come on, Mickey. Come on.
Did somebody say the door of darkness?
Say, fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?
Remember when in Kingdom Hearts 1, they had his shirt off, and then they made more games that explained that scene, and it was like, oh, fuck, we designed Mickey with a shirt. He's got to take it off for that one. And so it was just like, it got bargained off by the power of darkness in that one scene.
So stupid, man. I beat 1. It's such a bad story, but like I love it. I love how bad it is, and I was like, I beat it. I'm like, I'm gonna cry again. None of this made no sense.
There was a part where I was sort of like ancient tribes before they had written word, where it's like, you will pass down the memories. I had that, but for like all of Kingdom Hearts before Kingdom Hearts 3. And I was like, please, anyone ask me about story details of like Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
And nobody ever did, and nobody ever will.
Nope.
But also, did you guys know that apparently there was a rhythm game on the Switch that was Kingdom Hearts themed? If you have a save file on your Switch, you unlock a new song in Smash.
The best song, like one of the Kingdom Hearts songs. And yes, I did know about that. I was like, who's going to buy that? And then Sakurai let us know that you only get Simple and Clean if you have it. So he's like, you're going to own it.
Oh, you know I bought that shit off Amazon immediately. It'll be here in like 2 days.
I was like watching Slide play part of it, and the story is just so bad. Most of the dialogue that happens means nothing. They talk for like 40 seconds straight, and it's nothingness.
So this is I'm holding my arms out. This is my soapbox. Kingdom Hearts 1 is especially great because the beginning is about Sora and his friends, and that's the story. And then you do 9 Disney Worlds that don't mean anything back to back, and then you get to Hollow Bastion. Like, the game could have easily been Destiny Islands, Traverse Town, Hollow Bastion, and it's the same amount of development would have been made.
It's like they just use vague thoughts, like, the darkness will overcome you. Hearts are made of dark. light will overcome. And I'm like, I haven't seen any of that in any of the worlds I've been to. And then I was reading Ansem's notes. God damn, are Ansem's notes written so bad. It's like, I'm a scientist, and in my basement I'm hoarding shadows. Wait, why are there more shadows in the basement? Could it be because I put shadows in the basement? And I'm like, yes, that's why.
Now, which Ansem was this? Ansem, or Ansem the Wise?
We're going to have to make a Kingdom Hearts podcast to even begin to answer that question. So let's
yes,
focus on our World of Warcraft
there
one while
there
we're
are at
at
least
it.
20 episodes as I talk about the 7 Heroes of Light and the 7 Vessels of Darkness. But anyways, I want to talk about Crucifix.
Crucifix, not the Jesus kind, the DNR listener kind.
So, first off, apologies again. We totally botched that last episode. We will be reading your review very shortly. And also, congratulations on being a madman and, like, speed running through all of our backlog. That's crazy.
Hey, I wouldn't do it.
It's the only reason that I have is because I am a part of it. I experience each episode one at a time. I can't imagine going in 100 and almost 50 and being like, yeah, I'll waste my time with this.
So Crucifix left us a review on Warcraft Radio podcast directory, and he says, 5 stars. Creative excellence at its finest is what you will find here. DNR is a podcast that quenches your first thirst for WoW-related material, keeping you up to date each week with news and events, all while delivering it to your ears with comedy and banter, leaving you wanting more. This is a one-stop shop for podcasts related to WoW. These 3 hilarious fuckers bring you everything to keep your week going and guaranteed to have those around you thinking you are insane for laughing out loud. Well, what are you waiting for? Check out a few and then become a member of the DN Army as you frantically purge your way through the back catalog just to see what you have missed. Well done, DNR crew. Chef's kiss. Spoiler alert, potential new listener. See you on the other side. Smiley face. Crucifix.
Hey, that was great. Like that's giving me an actual tier, like not the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 tier, but like a real tier.
That's the kind of shit that I read out to my mom so I can let her know that the $120 I spend every 6 months is worth it.
So yeah, thank you for this amazingly kind review, Crucifix, and I have 1 shot of vodka here ready to take in your honor.
Oh, I got 2 shots of vodka. I'm lying, it's only 1. I try to seem cool.
I have the rest of my cherry limeade margarita mix in my cup here.
Chug-a-lug-a-lug, baby. Thanks, Crucy.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Whew. Cha.
I hope you're a big Kingdom Hearts fan. You didn't gather your people around again to be like, God damn it, they're talking about Goofy and Sora again.
So sorry. I will. If you give me a chance to talk about it, I'll talk about it all day and night. I think it's
Why
the
haven't
stupidest
we?
game. because this happens.
Fucking
It'll be
Dr.
everything. It'll be
Jiro's
all we
Mean
talk
Bean
about.
Machine, episode 2 is just all of a sudden going to become Organization 3.
There's got to be way too many Kingdom Hearts podcasts out there. But we can be the lightness that overcomes the dark.
Organization DNR.
Okay, you know what?
Staka!
Before we talk about Raid, so you guys know how the co-CEO of Blizzard, was his name Mike? I think it is.
Yes, Mike. There's a Y.
Something. Okay, so he posted on Twitter that if people wanted to watch a stream, they could watch a stream of him and his raid selling runs. Selling mythic SOD loot, I think is what it was.
Yeah, that's correct. I believe he's a mythic raider.
And Twitter was like freaking out, like, I can't believe the CEO of this company is partaking in RMT and getting real life money for it. And then somebody
are they? Is it RMT? I mean, I thought you just trade in like GOLD.
The argument is that because the game has an option to buy gold. By proxy, spending any gold technically could be RMT because you can swipe your credit card and you could get gold and then you could use that gold to get mythic loot. That's the argument that it's actually RMT, but it's like one extra step.
And, like, come on. Like,
It's not.
every mythic guild does this. Hell, even our fucking Uno Mas guild did this with Heroic Jaina. Like, what the fuck? Like, everyone does this.
So somebody tagged Belluar and said, Belluar, what do you think of this? And he came in and said, well, I've already posted 2 videos on what I think. And smash cut to his big stupid face in 2 videos that says, Blizzard supports RMT in their own game, and this economy in World of Warcraft is suffering because the WoW token. And I'm like, get out of here. Like, he's just salty that, dude, he hasn't even gotten AOTC. Belluar has not, as far as I know. So so you can't even sell it if you don't want to.
That, spoilers, gives me a big boost of energy to know I'm better than fucking Smellular.
Well, hang on. Well, okay, so he didn't have it like 6 weeks ago, but I can't imagine he's been playing the game since then. So he probably still doesn't have it, but it's possible he has it. I'll find out in the interim. This was indeed not true, as if my research is correct, Belluar and his guild are only 7 out of 10 because they stopped playing after they couldn't kill Fate Scribe. So there's the update. But it's like, bro, this is not RMT. Like, who cares? If somebody wants to swipe their credit card and spend, how much money is that? Like, $200 to get a run? Fucking go for it, because you're not competing with me. Like, I don't care. Like,
yeah, that's on them. The thing is that you, and I'm going to use the phrase whales because I feel like spending $200 on 100%. A thing is a whale tactic. But if you want to be a whale, don't be mad at the system that allows them to do that. Be like, hey, friend, why are you willing to spend $200 on this in-game achievement?
Like, and like, to get to that point anyway, people would already have to have cleared this shit to sell the runs to begin with. So there's not even a race happening. Who cares? Does not matter. I think it's dumb that it was even argued. I thought it was funny because it involved Belluar. So we can segue into why that matters to Aaron. And us, honestly.
Because this week, out of nowhere, completely just flabbergasted, we walked into Sanctum of Domination, walked up to Sylvanas, and we did wait 15 minutes for some late additions to trickle in, but they didn't end up showing up. But first pull, we downed her, and the crew and I got AOTC.
Yeah, so I was all of us were very surprised because, as Aaron said, we were down people. We only had 3 healers. We were missing like 3 DPS, I think.
I was the only mage, so I had to do the time warps. I never do the time warps. We were late with one because they were like, are you going to do it? And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and I will just say, by far, this is the cleanest Sylvanas kill I've ever had. Our guild or otherwise. It was so clean. No one got hit by anything in phase 1 or phase 2. Platforms 1, 2, and 3 were all like spectacularly clean in phase 3. And then we heroed and just finished her off. Like, how many deaths did we even have? Only a small handful?
It was like 2 or 3, and then 2 of them got brought back up. So it was like hardly anyone beefed it.
I don't know if this was a thing where because we had a smaller group, the scaling was weird and it was a little easier, or if all of us just had like spite held in us from last week, wiping on her like for 2 full days straight, where we're like, we mean business now all of a sudden.
Honestly, I think it was just because it's the classic thing where we're missing 3 of our usual raiders that are always there. And we're like, okay, well, what's the best way to ensure that we have to come back and kill Sylvanas again? Maybe if people weren't here. So we killed it once, we have to do it again next week.
And what's funny is we fully were like, yeah, we'll get a pull or 2 in while we wait for people to trickle in. And then we had the cleanest pull ever, and then our AOTC kill.
Once everybody, because nobody, not a single person died in that first bridge, right? We should have said. But once we landed on the 3rd platform with everybody still up, I was like, this is it. We got this. I wasn't going to say it out loud. Never going to say that out loud. But I knew, I was like, this has got to fucking be it. This is crazy.
So there was a moment where we were fighting her and she had like 56 and we were on a platform and I was like, oh no, like we didn't bring enough heat. What's going on? And then I sort of middle mouse button turned my mouse and I saw there was another platform, I'm like, oh, this is it, baby.
Yeah, we honestly crushed that fight, and I was like so happy. And then, of course, naturally, right after we got the kill, 2 of the 3 people from our team that missed it logged on and they're like, "Hey guys, what's up?"
Honors as we were moving from the picture we took next to Sylvanas' body, goes, "Hey guys," and it was like, "Oh no."
Okay, but it worked out because the group that had gotten AOTC last week was running again, and they were starting at Terragru, KT, and Sylvanas. So we actually managed to throw Honors and Cynical, that 2 that missed it, onto their team for the night, and they got their AOTC. But we forgot about poor baby Pablo, who came back like 30 minutes later than they did, and he joined us, and we were killing just regular ass like alt bosses with him. And then the other 2 get their pop for their AOTC, and we were like, no, we didn't send Pablo with them.
Yeah, and that's on us, but we'll get it next week as well. It's fine.
Yeah, I honestly think a lot of it was just people have the mentality that the fight was too long, which is a correct mentality to have, and that it's just like it's a hard hump to get over. And I legit do think a lot of the reason why we didn't get it the last week, people felt demoralized that the other group got it, and it happened during one of our best pulls. During a really good pull, that achievement appeared, and then everyone had typed thanks, people were dying, and it kind of like messed with like the groove that was going on, you know?
I'm just gonna say, if I ever see anyone from that other group in the Discord, I'm gonna fight them. It's on site. Now that's the narrative you guys threw our last week.
It's all good. Also, Adorno's in the other group, so we're not going to throw hands with Adorno.
Yeah,
but,
I'm gonna throw hands with him. Let's go.
But I will also say, I found out last week that the other group, they got AOTC on their 69th pull, and
nice.
We ended up getting it on our 67th pull.
Less nice.
So,
but technically, that means that Group 1 performed better than Group 2. Technically, that's all I'm gonna say. It was quicker.
I mean, please ignore the fact that we probably took like 45 pulls on like another boss and they took 20, but shh.
Sylvanas is the only thing that matters. At the end of time, they'll remember that 67 versus 69.
You could also ignore the fact that me and Immune had cleared it and brought over really important information to feed to the tanks. So they can place things correctly, which definitely does help. Should have helped a lot more than 2 pulls. I'm not gonna lie. The team would have been completely blind and fresh.
But it was also a full week of pulls where we didn't have our second main tank, so that definitely threw a little bit of a wrench in our plans.
But didn't the other group kill theirs without their main tank? Gronk tanked. Gronk went tank, and so he beat it as an alt tank. So technically, does that counteract the 2 pulls?
Either way, I'm very proud of our team. I'm proud of our guild.
Yes,
we did it.
Uno
We're
Mas
good.
as a whole, within a week and a half, 2-week period, got AOTC, and I am happy for that.
Yeah, the teams were actually really balanced this year. Like, way more balanced than the first fucking time. Let me fucking tell you. We were, like, very, very close. Like, just because one group got it first, like, that's who cares. But, like, it was a week. A week is, like, nothing.
And I will say, we also got first kills on a few of the bosses. So, I think it was, like, the teams are way more even than they ever have been, which is good.
So, hey, guess what? They changed some more things. And it continues to be for the better. Corporal or General Corpse Grinder, an Orcish NPC, was renamed. I don't believe he was removed, but he was renamed in accordance with all these changes because he was a reference to the lead singer from Cannibal Corpse, who had an infamous interview in which he said some very not great things, and Blizzard just kind of let that one slide for a long time.
I actually didn't know about any of this like happening because we didn't play until Draenor, so I'm not gonna watch old BlizzCon shit because what the hell. But honestly, I think I'm gonna keep this shorter because like the energy wasted on this guy seems so not worth it. Oh, night elves or faggots. It's like, bro, like what are you talking about? How old are you?
Yeah, or like call all Alliance players emo cocksuckers, and I'm like, maybe that applied to like me when he said it, but like whatever.
I mean, 2007. I don't know. It's just, it's like Slide said. I guess there really isn't much to say other than it was a shitty human being who expressed an interest in World of Warcraft. So 2007, they're like, heck yeah, brother, get in the game. Now there are other better people, famous and not famous, who like WoW. So it's like, yeah, we can get rid of this guy.
Yeah, and people are defending him, and I'm like, this is a Twitter argument that I'm not even going to bother getting into, because if you think this is, like, worth keeping in the game, then it's like, literally, nobody cares. And after this week and week, nobody cares about this NPC. You haven't thought about him until Wowhead said, think about him. Come on.
But I also will say, Wowhead has also told us to think about other things that are actually relevant to the way that we play the game, unlike all these NPCs that literally do not impact the way that you play the game. But in this instance, I'm talking about how now the Mage Tower is in PTR. You can test it on PTR. And definitely unfortunately for Slidewhistle, you are unable to use your Covenant abilities or any Shadowlands legendaries.
So, this sucks so bad, because now I can't just kill immediately. But I will say, I was playing Feral Druid at the end of BFA in preparation for this, and I didn't have no fucking legendary then. I didn't have no Convoke, and I had my rotation down. I think this would be moderately okay, especially because I'm pretty sure that the Mage Tower challenge I have to do, I've already done before as a Demon Hunter. I'm pretty sure they're on the same level. So that fucking wizard bitch is going down.
This will also be
last
interesting
week
for you because I asked you literally yesterday, because we were talking about alts, because we're doing like kind of an alt type run in a raid right now, and I was like, Slidewhistle, are you just like a Feral Druid main officially now? And he said something along the lines of like, we'll see next expansion when I don't have Convoke, and specifically a 1 minute Convoke. So maybe the Mage Tower will help you gauge that a little better.
Yes, last week I believe you said something to the effect of like 1 minute convoke baby. Without that, I don't know where I'd be. So I guess we'll see where you'll be.
I will find out exactly where I'll be. But also I came to that revelation because kind of go back to raid a little bit. We did alt raid after, which was a hot mess because I think literally every single person except for 2 got on their alts. And everyone was so excited with the kill, they forgot how to play the game. Me included, Immune included.
I mean, also, like, I stayed on my main, but I did swap disc, and I am not good at disc, let me say that. So that was also rough.
When I have to get in actual melee range and not Feral Druid melee range, which Feral Druid melee range is like you are a melee and a half. I was trying to stand where I stood as Feral with Alan. I would hit nothing. Then I'd move up, and then mechanics would actually hit me because I can't outrange them like I can Feral melee. So I'm basically probably at this point a Feral main and or possible Survivor Hunter main.
Do Survival, do they have that range and a half on their attacks?
They have doubled that. They have like 2 range and a half. They're like in some weird spot where no other class exists, where they're directly in between range and melee.
Yeah, because a lot of their damage is from traps, which they can throw from anywhere, or they do have like actual range shots and things that they can
like
fire,
grenades
and then they have a pet
throw,
too,
and they have crossbows they can shoot.
It's so weird. But back to the Mage Tower. Now, I do agree a lot of the Covenant abilities, not like the power abilities, but like Dwarf Shadows or Soul Shape will most definitely break like every single encounter you could work with on these boys.
Personally, I'm like, wow, okay, whatever. For me, like, mind games, that's not really going to help me in this. And flash concentration. I'm like, when I'm just by myself, I don't really care that much about keeping that at 5 stacks. Literally, the only thing for me as a Venthyr Holy Priest would be Door of Shadows. And I understand that would probably break a lot of things.
I think it's bullshit. It's fine. It's fine.
Slidewhistle has pigeonholed himself into a corner where he was like, I don't know if I'm going past Shadowlands at this point. It feels so good to have Convoke. I don't know if I can go to the Lightlands.
Convoke is definitely the best button I've ever pressed in my entire life. Like, even when I pressed it for the very first time, I said, this is it. Like, this is fucking fantastic.
He turned to me and he said, Michael Jackson's This Is It.
R.I.P. The best tour I ever went on.
He said, much like MJ, I've been practicing day and night, and we'll see what that gets me. In MJ's case, not much. In Slidewhistle's, a lot.
Wait a minute. I'm just not reading this full list, and this is interesting. So obviously we covered no Covenant abilities, no signature abilities, which I didn't know they were called that. Like wrestling, like you have signature abilities and you have your finisher abilities. Your signature ability sucks. It's like a big kick to the face. Your finisher, awesome.
I was about to say,
also,
if you hit with a finisher, then you'll have enough energy in your bar to do your special.
So I just want to say, like, this is a total aside of an immune rant. I am so fucking mad at Wikipedia because they changed up the way that wrestlers' pages are. They no longer at the bottom have like a list of their signatures and their finishers. I don't know if you've noticed that they removed that altogether. It was like a wrestling wide thing.
This is crazy because I'm not going to lie to you. I've never really looked at Wikipedia for wrestler bios because Pro Wrestling Insider has a really, really good special Wikipedia for their own wrestlers for all of them. So I had never seen Wikipedia like stylized before.
Is it called
like,
the Dropkickopedia?
No, it's got like a really lame name.
Oh.
Wait, so did they like delete them or move them? They're just gone?
They're just completely gone. So no longer like on Sasha Banks's page at the bottom does it say like finishing move, like bank statement, and then like from like before like that, like it had like all their finishers from like any period of time that they ever used as a finisher or anything that was a signature before that. It's like I don't understand why they want to remove this. Now at the bottom of the page it literally just has like championships and like awards.
People were probably fighting in the editing about what their actual signature versus finisher versus moves they like to use a lot. Where? Whoa.
Honestly, I'm just mad at Wikipedia in general because they also did something similar with RuPaul's Drag Race where they removed. This is like immune like against Wikipedia. A new feud here.
No, we can't. I was gonna say we can't afford that, but at this point, can they? They're asking for money every goddamn week again.
I've never given them money and I never will because of this shit. Anyways, like on RuPaul's Drag Race now, before they would have like contestant like progress every week where it'd be like low, high, win, bottom 2, whatever. Now it's just win, bottom, eliminated, and everything else is safe. And I'm like, it's very much so does not show how the season went.
Maybe if you gave them money, this wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, come on, you gotta
be
throw
even more
some
mad.
bucks behind them to just get even more disappointed.
Listen, I love this immune against Wikipedia fight we have going on. Because for the record, I'm not against Wikipedia. I think they're doing a fine job over there.
Wow, now we have immune against Slidewhistle.
Oh, story of my life.
Oh,
okay.
No. It's the evolution. DNR versus some people. DNR versus everyone, if you're mean. And now DNR versus itself.
But this does remind me that Dracoris did challenge us to at least woo on a podcast, which we've wooed on many DNR podcasts, I feel like.
Woo!
Woo!
Okay, everybody, I'm so sorry that we cut off this conversation about World of Warcraft. So, we have Mage Tower things, if you can remember. Mage Tower, we're talking about Mage Tower and what's banned. Covenant's banned. Signature abilities are banned. Also banned are your legendaries. That's fine. Not fine. Your conduits. Okay, I guess I assume they were banned if everything else is banned. All frost shards of dominations are banned. So you can't use any frost shards. That's the thing. So then I'm like, wait, what? And then it says various other procs, including the legendary ring from Warlords of Draenor? Who the fuck's trying to use that ring?
The Apexis crystal ring?
Yes, the Apexis one that you have to get from Khadgar and Garona after he stabs her. And and you cannot use a Sha-touched gem from Mop. Never played Mop, don't know what this means. A particular note, this banned list does not currently include unholy or blood shards or soulbind traits. It's probably gonna be fixed as PTR, but it's funny that like they're like, well, so far those are for fair game.
I mean, the blood link, come on, you need that, but the slowdown? No, sir.
That is so weird. I think they will probably just make it so that all like shard bonuses don't work. I feel like they have to, right?
Okay, but this is interesting. For the first time ever, I can say a Wowhead comment has brought a compelling argument to the table. Redron at 5:30 a.m. says, okay, so they banned all other than Legion stuff, but what about the Legion legendaries and artifacts we had? Will these be compensated? Because he's right. Some classes don't even have their Legion abilities or anything that they can even use.
Okay, I will say in reply to this, they group this Mage Tower with Legion Time Walking in almost every announcement that they've made. And in every other instance of Time Walking, you can use actual gear from that area. So I feel like maybe we can use our Legion legendaries or other Legion gear or trinkets or things from that era during this Mage Tower, maybe.
If they let me put on the real Fea Malorn again and my 3 fireballs appear above my head, I'm never leaving. I'm never doing Shadowlands content again. I will only log on to go to the Mage Tower and just watch my 3 friends hover around me.
I am 93% sure that there's already been a statement that said you cannot use Legion legendaries. Because think about it. Imagine that you are somebody like people in Dogs with Jobs. People in Dogs with Jobs, some of them only started playing in Legion. Or in BFA even. So they don't have Legion legendaries, or not the optimal ones, or like all of them. So then it's like, if you started playing later and you don't have a Legion legendary, is it required for you to go back and grind out getting a legendary from fucking Dalaran? Like, there's no way. So I think that those are also not usable in this time locking.
I mean, and this will all become very clear over the coming weeks, and I say coming weeks because within the last few days, they've also added a 915 splash screen to the PTR, which traditionally, I believe, means that they are like close to the end of the like PTR type period, and we'll probably be getting an announcement for 915 soon.
I think it's coming. I think it's on the horizon. Persephone had a good estimation that I loved. She said that she thinks it's going to be November 5th or November that week after that.
That would be close to like the 1 year. I feel like that's, I don't know if that means anything, but it would be close to that.
This is my favorite part, is that also, so then Ash said, who's a guy in our guild, he was like, well, that's pretty close to when the other game releases their other patch, which is Final Fantasy. And there's this weird notion that, like, World of Warcraft times their patches with Final Fantasy patches. But in the Dogs with Jobs Discord, they posted a timeline of every single WoW release and every single Final Fantasy Online release. And they did literally have not matched up until, like, this past, like, year and a half, maybe 2 years. So it's like that's not like it just happens.
I think it just adds to my personal opinion that Final Fantasy 14 players literally will find any given opportunity to talk about the game when the game is not mentioned. And sorry, I'm not sorry. Like
this is my personal challenge to any Final Fantasy 14 players. Tell me about any dungeon you did. That's
it's a
funny
room.
because
it's a big room.
because you didn't do it. No one does content in Final Fantasy 14.
Oh,
you
shit,
fuck around in the lobby. That's all it is they have more emotes, they have player housing. People fuck around in the lobby and they don't actually play the game.
Hey, I can tell you, listen, I couldn't get past the leveling. Every game is for everyone different, but I couldn't get past the leveling.
I didn't really try to get past the leveling, so...
Okay, but the Mage Tower is going into effect to be tested Thursday. Oh, sorry, people. This episode's already out by now. So if you think about yesterday really hard, you can see me in there being like, can I fucking kill this without Convoke? Are you guys going to try to get in PTR and do it on your class to see what it feels like? No, because you guys don't even use your abilities to begin with, probably.
Listen, I use mind games on cooldown because it provides raid-wide benefits, but I will not really care to miss it during this Mage Tower, so I don't really care.
I love mirrors in concept. The moment I booted it up and it did not literally fling the spell physically back in the guy's face, I was like, oh, I'll see what the Light Lance has for me. When mirrors goes, I'll be like, oh, I really missed you, bud, but bye. Coming at you, it's a late game growl on the prowl. Yeah, you thought I wouldn't do the voice. Too bad, I'm doing the voice.
Another week passes. Another prowl for I, Growl, to undergo. I'm here today with Corral, discussing some of the minutiae of the Shadowlands. Corral, do you ever find it weird that there's so much anima being given to us in a anima drought?
I haven't really thought of that. There's supposedly no anima or souls to go around, but I get something like 4K a day.
Exactly. Not exactly what I'd call a drought. I feel like folks have so much that they're just wasting it to still be able to hold on to some.
I just bought a bunch of transmog today because I didn't have anything else to spend it on.
Do you ever wonder if the supply suddenly didn't meet the demand, and that's why the quest givers started giving us so much? Because they need to waste it too?
LOL, that would make sense. They had so little for so long that they forgot you can find 1,000 of it under every skull and bone.
Well, I guess a zillion night elves in Worgen, which Elune conveniently forgot, died last time we had a shortage, so maybe more is better in this case. Speaking of which, I gotta go collect my 1,000 in 20 minutes. See you all soon.
There it was. I did the voice. I mean, thanks, Growl.
And now it's time for me to pull a time warp.
Oh no! We had a lot of time to think about
expecting
that, but I didn't expect this.
These fools have 40 seconds to give me as many correct answers to the question I will give them.
I'm sorry, can you please refer to us as banana heads?
No, you only get those when you don't want it.
I missed the abuse. It's very much Stockholm Syndrome.
And that gave me just enough time to pull up my stopwatch, which I almost forgot.
Oh, did it though?
Alright, so you two have killed this boss so many times and slogged through the trash so many times. Surely you can name some Terror Crew anima powers. 3, 2, 1...
Ever beating heart, tremor beating heart, unstable form, lumbering form, 10 of powers. 10 of towers? One of those.
I'm just gonna put me pouring more alcohol into my cup here.
I legitimately do not know the rest of them. They're all the Oberon ones, so like Oberon Critical or Oberon Mastery. I don't know.
Oberon wins. I know that one. I don't know if it makes it to
I gave Aaron one there.
Saudis. I'm just, I have my cup in hand. I'm ready to drink. Motherfucker, I was ready. So I was, in the future, I'd be like, whoa, what's mage ones? So I know some mage ones. Don't know everyone else's.
Well, that was immune. That was not a perfect match because Oberon wins is indeed one of them. So Aaron got 1 to Immune's 5. You could have said so many. There's a lot of them here, but I guess you wouldn't know. Huddled Carvings, Leashing Strikes, Negaton Well. There's like literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 Oberons. The most important one here is the oddly intangible key, which means I can sit there and ignore the Rayleigh and be like, everybody got out of the goo. And I'm like, but 99% reduced damage in the goo. I'm gooing, baby.
Oh, I thought that was the one where every so often you just become a ghost and stop participating in the fight. Because sometimes I like to get that one because, you know what, randomly, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, you mean Valera's Cape of Subterfuge?
Randomly, aka last night when you just left?
Excuse me, sir. We had to plan a meeting for later today.
Wait, take your shot because we forgot last time. we
Yes.
Wait. No, we already took that shot. That shot was taken before trivia. That counts as DNR content. Just because you weren't there doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I did, in fact, after the recording of last episode, Slidewhistle and I did go to a bar trivia for the first time in like 2 years. And during that moment in time, I was like, fuck, I lost Time Warp last week and I didn't take a shot. So I did take a shot as we were walking out the door to this trivia.
I'm just gonna... I don't have a shot glass, but I have a mug full of the margarita mix, so I'll just be downing it in the background as we continue the rest of this segment.
How's it taste?
Honestly, fine, because it's margarita mix, so it's not like it's gonna like, oh, it's hurting me. It's just like, yep, I'm just drinking a lot of liquid right now.
Is it even alcoholic, Aaron?
It is. Gosh knows it is, because I lost that time warp. If I was on my game, I would have gotten it 100%. You know me and my encyclopedic knowledge of Saudis' powers.
I was going to say, like, if anyone ever loses to Immune in Time Warp, something is up. Anyways, we did have a double DNR thought this week, so I'm going to throw this in here really fast. Our first one was submitted from our boy Crucifix, and, you know, this is spooky season relevant. He says, speaking of the monster cereals, because we were talking about them in our Discord, make it a DNR thought. Which is the best monster cereal, and why is it Boo Berry?
That is factually incorrect.
I was gonna say that Crucifix is factually correct.
Well, Aaron, what do you think is the best then?
I think that Count Chocula is the best because I like the chocolate taste, and also when I was a child, they had the best maze on the back.
Count Chocula is not the best, and there's several reasons in the lore that say otherwise. No, that say why. And then there are also just regular reasons why. Count Chocula is available 24/7. He doesn't leave with Halloween. The other two
because
are
they
way more
clearly
harder to
know
find.
who is the money. The
He's
money shot, the
basic.
seller. They know Count Chocula is what people want. Boo Berry and Frankenberry are the weak friends that they give a branch out to every Halloween season.
Do you know who the lead member of the band is? It's actually canonically Boo Berry.
Is it? He's
Count
the
Chocula.
singer?
So he's not the singer.
Can you give me a rundown of the full band, please?
He is now leaving the room. He actually sprinted out of the room to go get his boxes of cereal because I believe on the back of it, it actually clarifies this information.
Oh my god. Do they still have the maze?
Okay, so he said no, they do not have the maze.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cereal Hour. Okay, here we go. The Monsters Mash. The monsters have a new match. Meet the Count, who really rocks the chalk. Also, he's playing the keyboard, which tells you his status in the band immediately. Count Chocula tickles the ivories of his keyboard, like someone who's been doing it for thousands of years. Well, because he has. On tour with Frankenberry, Booberry, and the rest of the gang, Count Chocula always requests the darkest hotel room, please. That's pretty innocuous, right? He's a keyboardist, just kind of there. We get to Frankenberry, the strawberry giant behind the electrifying music. Wait a second, that sounds kind of important. Slapping away at the electric bass. Oh, he's a bass player.
He's the bass player. He's done. Frankenberry is written out of this scene.
This gentle giant is the spark that really brings the new Monster Mash to life. When it comes to touring, his only request is making sure his dressing room is twice the size of Count Chocula's. Oh, whoa, hold on a minute. Now we're at Booberry. Meet Boo, the ghost with the most. Booberry is the backbone of the band, which is pretty remarkable for someone without a skeleton. When he's not busy keeping Frankenberry and Count Chocula from fighting each other over whose songs and whose cereals are the best, he's laying down wicked electric guitar solos on the new Monster Mash solo.
Weak man energy, in my opinion. He can't even hype up his own cereal. He's just like, Franken, Choco, you can't fight. Come on, guys.
Well, so my question is, none of these are the lead singer, so who is the lead singer in this band?
They don't need a lead singer.
It's Gummy Mummy, obviously.
No, Gummy Mummy plays the tambourine, by the way.
Wait. Oh, that's so What does Fruit Brute do?
He plays the drums. Pretty important, but not singing.
They don't have a guitarist in this band?
Booberry's a guitarist.
Is he also the singer?
It doesn't say he is, but if there's gonna be one, it's him or the keyboardist.
Band? Do they don't have lyrics? Is this a fucking community park jam band?
Okay, I think there is an argument to say that Booberry is also the lead singer because it did quote say that he is the cornerstone and heart of the band, in addition to being the lead electric guitarist, unquote.
I think a good leader makes sure that his teammates do not argue without even having to push his own narrative that Booberry is the best, because he knows Booberry's the best. Now, this is the important part though. If you go by this history of the monster cereals, Count Chocula and Frankenberry debuted in 1971. Booberry came a whole year later and made the monster duo a monster trio in 1972. So he wasn't a founder. But how many leaders aren't founders? All of them.
I don't know. I never got to say my favorite, but I was gonna say my favorite was Frankenberry.
You know what? You do give me big Frankenberry energy. Big,
you do have some Frankenberry
bass player.
Just soft, pink, friendly energy.
Also, this face. Hey guys, it's Frankenberry's face right now that I just showed.
I hate y'all. Also on the Discord, like earlier, they're like, "Oh, Immune's obviously Simon from the Chipmunks."
Okay,
like, fuck you guys,
okay.
But like, also
excuse
yes,
me,
I acknowledge it's true, but like, you didn't need to put me on blast like that, guys.
So fuck it, and I even suggested the narrative. Slide gets courageous leader. Immune gets smart, like intelligent. What do I get? Small, fat, soft boy.
Hey, okay, to be fair, they only get into trouble because of Simon.
No, Simon's me.
Oh, wait.
Elvin.
They all end in N, other than Aaron's. What's his name again? Aaron again?
Theodore.
Anyway, the moral of the story is, did you guys know that Fruit Brute joined the Monster Cereals 2 years later? So Count Chocula and Frankenberry were 71, Booberry 72, Fruit Brute 74. What happened to Fruit Brute? Yummy Mummy, he joined in 1988. Why do they even bother?
My dad grew up and he said, for whatever reason, they only had Fruit Brute and Gummy Mummy. And he's like, I hated it. That's why he didn't buy us those cereals until way later in time.
It's Yummy Mummy. It's Halloween. Give him some respect.
This is a World of Warcraft show. We need to, on the count of 3, we all need to say one race from the World of Warcraft.
Okay,
1, 2, 3.
Or
Blood Elf.
Draenei.
Okay, so we met our quota. Next question.
Anyways, Adorno sent us an addendum to this DNR thought, and he said, "What's the spookiest type of milk to eat with your Halloween cereal? Whole milk, skim, almond, soy?"
This is not a World of Warcraft question either.
I didn't say it was, but I replied to him with spoiled milk. Obviously, that's very spooky.
Yeah, spoiled's the answer.
I'm just going to play to the crowd and say Draka's, LOL.
I feel like there are a lot of people that would pay money to drink Draka's milk.
I was about to say, that's going to get me a lot of points in the metaverse.
I love oat milk.
I mean, so do I. Like, I think it's my current preferred milk.
As somebody who's drinking a lot of cow milk consistently throughout their entire life, I think oat milk is better than regular ass cow milk. Oat milk is really
we have
good.
Skim milk, and it at least keeps a lot longer. We still have skim milk that does well. You forget about cow milk for half a day, and it's done.
Well, I think it's about that time of the episode for us to head on into our sexiest NPC of the week, baby! And this week, we got a listener-submitted sexiest NPC of the week. This one is submitted by none other than Gershom of Thrall's Balls Pod, and she submitted a Venthyr. I feel like it's been a minute here, and we have Archivist Fane.
Ooh, Gershysburg gave us an archivist, baby!
And I'm not feigning interest in this hot boy, because you know what? He's got 3 ways to pull him closer. I'm talking about 2. Admittedly, he might be balding, but he's got long hair, tassels, and a flavor saver beard.
And I will say, like, it's pretty sexy to me that this is somebody that is so out of my league, because literally I have never once in my life grinded any avowed rep, so he will never be my friend, let alone my lover.
It's almost a forbidden love, because his faction is so hard to get stuff with that I just right-click hid him from my reputations list.
It's actually pretty crazy because, okay, so I have always assumed, even though I've asked you guys multiple times, can I do this? And I'm like, the answer is yes, I can do this. But what does he give you? What are his rewards?
So he has a whole rep where you need to, like, collect Sinstone fragments and kill Inquisitors using their Sinstones. And it's a whole ordeal, which is why I never bother doing it, even though it's literally in my backyard. And you need to do this in order to get the It's Always Cinny and Revendreth achievement. But I just have never bothered doing it. It's just too much work, which means his standards are way too high for me, baby.
Whoa, okay. Well, hang on. So I have his reward table, his sexy reward table. He'll teach his Shade Stones. So actually, people who are crafting and making those have to meet him. Whatever that is. He gives you a toy and a transmog at Revered. So that's cool. A quill and a keeper's mantle. And at Exalted, he has an encyclopedia of Sinstone Fragment Recovery, a mount, which is a Gargan, a pet, which is a quill, and Vulgarity
Wait a
Arbiter.
minute, he's got a Gargan in there that I gotta.
Dude, you need those Gargans. You guys don't have enough Gargans over there.
I need all those Gargans so I don't summon them because they can't fly.
Wait a minute, guys, we might need to go get this guy. At Exalted, his last toy is Vulgarity Arbiter. Use. Place the Vulgarity Arbiter on the ground so you and your allies can atone for your vulgarity. God, we need that.
If anything, this podcast particularly needs that.
If anything, Corpse
Grinder needs it more. Whenever I'm thinking about him, I need my Vulgarity Arbiter, because fuck, he's a hot motherfucker.
How many Venthyr men have this blonde hair going on both sides?
Surprisingly, a lot.
I don't remember seeing that many, but I don't go there very often, so.
I gotta walk past 50 of them every day. This guy may not be the most unique looks-wise, but he is the most unique gifts-wise. He's like my sugar daddy. He's got plenty of special toys that I need to earn by showing him my body.
And he also has several very large floating scrolls. You know, that's kind of hot. And some quills that have a mind of their own. I'm sure we could find something interesting to do with these artifacts.
His mog, it's everything about him. I don't know why. Like, you say that the blonde hair is normal, which I can't attest to. Everything about him just looks so different than what I would think a vampire would look like. Like, he's not dressed in dark color. He's not wearing red. He's wearing this beautiful pale blue, baby gray outfit. Pretty stylized, honestly.
I do remember at the beginning of the expansion, too, he was tucked away in this corner in this little, like, cave type deal in the middle of a part of Revendreth that was very dangerous too. I mean, I'm sure it's not dangerous now. I won't die going to see him, but like at the beginning of the expansion, it was kind of hard to get to him. So thinking back towards then, that's pretty sexy, you know?
Ow, ow!
He can stick that pen wherever he wants, but just my butthole. I don't do sounding.
Oh, no, never any sounding here. Sorry.
Oh, God, stop.
Well, there you have it. This week, we are giving Archivist Fane the Sexiest NPC of the Week award. I will make a quick stop over there later today, baby.
Are you gonna get his mount?
Probably eventually.
Well, we are nearing the end of the episode here, and so we're going to transfer ourselves into the TTBBMM. That is the top two, bottom boot, medium moot, and I'm gonna go first because I got so much motherfucking energy for this one.
Cha.
I have myself a top toot this week.
Toot toot toot.
And my top toot this week is that Growlina achieved both level 6 with the Archivist and got her AOTC ahead of the curve in 1 week. So I hope you guys enjoyed her talking to you in this episode, because she is effectively retired until 9.2.
Oh, goodbye, Growlina.
I mean, she'll still be around every so often, but it's weird to think that in like the middle of an expansion she's retired, but she is. She has nothing to do anymore because she is a 262 legendary. She has AOTC on the most current raid. She has the highest rank in the zone. So
knock,
it's
knock.
the knock. It's the era.
No, you say who's there.
Who's there?
Keystone Master, baby. We can get you that easy
Yeah,
peasy
baby.
on Growlina.
Well, now that's the only thing she needs. So we need to do that.
Yeah, baby.
Anyways, catch me outside. I'll be Wigglestein or Booty ATW until then. Anyways, Immune, what is your TTBBMM?
I'm gonna hop on this train and say that my top toot of the week, baby, is also the fact that our guild has AOTC. It is a relief. And also not only a relief, but like we crushed that shit. That was like decimation levels of like taking all of our anger we ever had against Sylvanas out in that one
girl.
pull. That was so satisfying, and I love that.
And I love it. Love it for us. There you go. I've drank a lot of this margarita mix. It's Margarita Wednesdays,
Well,
baby.
Margarita Wednesday, baby. And speaking of Margarita Wednesday, Slidewhistle, what you got?
I got a top toot this week.
Triple toot, baby.
Because I got Archivist Codex Massivo last week, I was able to walk in the fucking raid this week on Tuesday, Wednesday with fucking like 300 additional DPS. Like, I'm like, how am I still finding ways to find more damage in this fucking click? I'm 250. Like, I'm almost maxed out.
This motherfucker. He's like, I'm number 1 damage. How could I be number 1-er?
Yeah, bitch, it's crazy. I've never had such luck maximizing my DPS every single week. And because we're clearing 3 mythic bosses every week, my chance at Jotungur, Destiny of Spears of Destinies, whatever the fuck it is, once I get that, all bets are off, and I'm gonna fucking shoot to the goddamn moon, which means I'm probably never gonna get it. But that's like a bottom boot for a later time.
You have sealed yourself into never getting this one thing you want.
It will never drop for me, and that's the saddest thing. Because the second I lost Jotungur, I was so sad. And now that it's like every week, I can like get it again twice a week. I'm like, please, 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 please.
Chances say you have to get it soon. I mean, like, there's nothing else that you need, really, from the first several bosses in Mythic, so...
Actually, they got a lot of good shit for me still, but... which is even better! Let's go up, baby, to the moon!
We can't keep saying to the moon. People think we're crypto bros.
No.
Diamond hand / claw / feral rake.
It made me happy when Elon Musk got a divorce.
Hey, I diamond hands my GameStop hold into this new chair that I'm sitting in, so I will diamond hands all day until I sold and became paper hands.
Also, it's so funny to me that, like, Grimes and Elon broke up, and then, like, within the week, she has this photo shoot with her, like, holding the Communist Manifesto. It's like, oh, okay, Grimes.
Well, it's because they got together over a... conspiracy theory about a giant cyber basilisk that was going to eat people. It was just two people who did a lot of drugs who were like, we should get married for a year. And then they did, and then they didn't. People who have too much money have too much time. That's all I'm saying.
Before we close this podcast, I'm going to bring it back full circle and let everybody know that my copy of Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memories on the Nintendo Switch has shipped and will arrive Friday, October 22nd.
Can you send it to me so I too can get simple and clean Swing version?
Dude, I can bring it back like whenever we hang out next. Just bring your Switch or I'll bring my thing with me and then you got it.
Actually, though, just I'll pop it in, start the game, save, and then we can delete it.
What are you doing? What are you doing Halloween weekend?
I am going to UMaCon and then I'm filming.
Oh yeah. We knew that. Never mind.
So the next weekend,
we'll figure that out. Okay, but with that, we're out of here. This has been honestly a really weird ep of like a whole bunch of bullshit, more so than usual. And I'm sorry. I think it was good shit though. At the end of the day, we love you.
Episode 148? ? It's for us, not for you.
I feel like we've said that a majority of the episodes, and people know that at this point. So
we just talk.
Keeps coming back.
Are you okay?
I'm dying.
Keep that in. That was good. That's good content.
See you in episode 149, maybe.
If you have any comments, questions, complaints, send it to us at donotrelenttpod@gmail.com. Tweet at us on Twitter at donotrelenttpod. Send me an email at navarracoffin@gmail.com. Figure that out for yourself. Leave us a review on Warcraft Radio on Apple iTunes. Follow us on Spotify. Keep your eyes peeled if you're trying to shave your balls next week, because we're going to have something for you that I'm honestly pretty surprised about. What about you two banana heads?
Don't shave any part of your body until next week, because we'll give you the reason to do so.
Yeah, ACAT. Don't use your promo code early. What the fuck, man? Anyway, what about you two banana heads? Where can we find you guys on the internet?
First off, I'm very heartwarmed to finally be called a banana head this episode.
Yeah, it honestly feels good.
Yeah, I know. Stockholm Syndrome is like strong on these parts on this podcast. Anyways, you can find me, Alex or Immunization, on the interwebs on Twitter at New Era Alex. You can follow our podcast Instagram account on the gram at Do Not Relent. I will eventually probably return to streaming occasionally at some point, maybe. Very up in the air, guys. Don't count on it, please. On Twitch at Immunization DNR.
I'm waiting for it. I check every day. But in the meantime, you can find me, Aaron the Human, at TheBigAcheesy on Twitter.com. You can find our literary musings at DoNotRelent.LiveJournal.com. And you can find me semi-actively streaming at twitch.tv/AaronDNR. Are you interested in Dragon Quest V? Well, too bad, bud. The final dungeon's awaiting you. You can catch me doing that soon.
I'm honestly very, very sad I missed the inaugural webcam stream. You did not give the two of us proper warning about this, Aaron.
You are connected to my Twitter. You had several hours.
You stream at like 9 in the morning. Who's up that
streamed
early?
at 5 p.m.
No, you don't. No,
That
you stream at like
time I
11.
did.
You stream at like 10 at 10 a.m.
I put a picture of me in Streamo. You had no excuse.
That's the excuse. You always stream at 10 in the morning when no one's awake.
Regardless, 80% of your streams are during our workday.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because I'm still on the train at that point at 5, I guess. It's 4 here. Anyway, well, bye. And remember,
Another down! Do not relent!
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.